Many of the houses you've seen in Innsmouth have been run down or abandoned. You wander the streets until you find a section that seems mostly habitable. Place the street corner one, yard one, and park pond. The fog is thick even here, settling between buildings and obscuring them. Place your investigator figures here. A patch of flowers has been snapped and bent. Place a search token as indicated. The front door to the large brick house with an ornate knocker on it. Place the explore token. Several children play in the dark. Place a person as indicated. There's an odd shape in the murky waters of the pond. Place a search token. The muted green of the lawns continues into the fog. Place sight tokens. Okay, away we go.
Do you want to talk to the little boy at night time?
Shitting. Nah. I mean, I've got a lot of horror, so I could negate some of that by going to see what's in the pond. So I'm going to go do that and see if there's any fun things for me. Diving into the
You can't go across the dotted line, you got to go round.
Oh, do you?
I think you do. Because how can you cross the water?
Oh, that's a good point. Okay,
So
well,
you can go
one,
through that way, yeah.
two, yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, just for being correct. An odd shape in the murky water shallows of the pond catches your eye. You wade into the pond and thrust your hands into the dark waters. The object appears to be stuck in the mud. Strength. I have 4. So 4 is where we need to. 2 partials and a proper. I have loads of clues. Let's spend 2 for a full 3. Yank it out. You set your feet into the mud and pull hard until the object dislodges. Gain the sledgehammer, common item. And then discard a horror because I have new toys.
So that's your 2 actions. I will go to the other question mark.
This one, the flowers that have been trampled.
And I will look at the pretty flowers.
Look at the flowers. A patch of flowers has been snapped and bent. Something has been dropped amongst the flowers. Gain the wrench, common item. Look at the pretty flowers, George. That's not George, it's Lenny, isn't it? Lenny, look at the flowers.
Yeah, Lenny gets shot. George is the...
Spoilers!
George is the smart one.
Spoilers for that ancient book we read in secondary.
And the rabbit, George, and the rabbit.
Also, I think because you're there, you get to see what's down the sight token.
Oh, yeah.
Reveal.
Same with yours as well, actually.
Yeah, I suppose so, actually. The street continues, lined by well-kept houses. Discover the site to place street 2 and yard 2. Well, there's still stuff here we need to see first. A dented trash can has been set out in front of the house. Detective Blake sits in a lawn chair on the edge of the street, reading the paper. Place Detective Blake here. The fire pit looks like something has recently been burnt there. Place a search token. A neat stone walk leads up to a house. Place an explore token. Okay, and then we'll reveal what's on the other end of the pond. A glass conservatory looms out of the mist, which is one of the big ones. Flower beds surround a small conservatory. Place the conservatory down. A door to the conservatory has a shiny gold handle. Right, you need to get there. Place an explore token as indicated. There's some freshly turned dirt in the flower blade. Place a search token there. A flagstone has come loose in the path. Place a search token. Okay. Yeah, so, that's a gold lock.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way the gold key doesn't fit in the gold lock.
I'll go to the boy next, and then...
Well, you need to do the myth.
Oh, no, mistake. Go to the boy, speak to the boy, then move, speak to...
Yeah, sounds good. There's no particular rush.
So,
Mythos phase. An unnatural wind kicks up, tearing at your clothes. This mythos event affects the investigator with the most items. I have 5. You have more!
Well, these are key items.
They're still items.
Okay.
A sudden gust of wind howls and shakes loose your possessions, agility needing 1.
Well, I'm a nimble granny with 3.
Quite sprightly still. Yeah, you're fine. If you pass the wind cells.
I get 1 token.
You have an inexplicably good feeling about today. An investigator of your choice is affected by this myth-off event. Also, you gained the clue for...
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, cool. I think you need the good feeling with all the horror you've got.
Yeah.
Ooh, your feeling is confirmed when you find a personal effect you had thought lost. Discard 2 horror and gain the lucky cigarette cake. Okay. I still have some unresolved horror, so I might see what these question marks are close to me. Let's see what's under the stones. A flagstone has come loose in the path. With some effort, you could pry the large stone. Strength check. I have 4. Ooh, getting 2 and 1. I've got plenty of clues. Let's be safe and burn 1 for 3. So convert that partial to an actual. Someone has concealed something under this flagstone. Gain the knife. Common item. And because I'm gaining something, the horror goes away.
Before I go, can I see the door and what's on it?
Yes, and not interact with it. I'll just see what it says. A door with an ornate knocker is set into the house. Knock or enter the house.
No. And what is it able to see that one over there, or
see what over there? This one.
Yeah.
That one. A neat stone walk leads up to a well-kept house. Knock or sneak into the house.
I'm going to go to the boy. I'm going to speak to the boy.
Several children play in the park. Say hello to the children or notice anything strange. The children do not stop their play, but the rules of the game seem to change. While most of the children splash around in the pond, they occasionally emerge to chase the other children on land, shouting terrible words in a made-up language. When they catch the children on land, they pantomime unsettling violence. Suffer 2 face-down horror, but willpower negates.
Willpower is 4.
Not get +1 for willpower for something.
No, I've got the once go around I made converter.
Yeah.
Question mark.
1, 2, you pass. Yeah. The savage play stops soon after your discomfort sets in. The children disperse wordlessly, leaving you alone in the park. Gain a clue. It's got a person token. Okay, so the kids know what's cracking. Something comes out of the water.
It sounds like the...
It does.
The
okay, yep, so it's basically the Lovecraftian version of Ring a Ring of Roses. I'm lining my pockets. A loose, fluttering page covered in barely legible text catches Preston Fairmont's eye. Unable to resist, he reads. Preston Fairmont suffers 2 face-down horror, but law negates. I get +1 law because of my arcane manuscript, so 3 dice. Ooh, aces it with 3. So I guess nothing. He then flips 1 horror face up. Minor shock, no effect. Flip it back. All is fine. The clock strikes noon, no immediate effect.
I will go to the golden door.
1, 2, yep.
And I will open the golden door.
Better. No, I'm supposed to continue recording. Okay. So, lost the phone recording, but let's see what we can do with this. The door to the conservatory has a shiny gold handle with a small keyhole just beneath. You can explore only if you have the gold key unique item. Which
I
do. Rows of potted plants cut to the conservatory. Some empty pots appear to have been hastily pushed aside. Discard this explore token and place a search token as indicated.
So get rid of the red one.
A wooden door connects the conservatory to the house. Place the explore token. You may move 1 space into the explored area.
Are you going to go in there, or are you going for that?
Well, this is obviously linked to this house here.
Do you want to go that one then, or?
Yeah.
I'll go this way.
Yeah, if you want to go here, I'll try and go for whatever this is down here.
Alright.
Okay. So was that my one? Was that
You've
my
not done
action
anything.
Oh, I've not done anything this time. Okay. But I've still got 1 horror, so let's try and get rid of it with this. The ground here has been disturbed recently. A strange fishman statue has been buried in the dirt here. Gain a clue and then discard the search token. Okay. Alright, so someone's gone and buried a weird statue there. Okay, that's me done. You done as well?
Yep.
Mythos. Somewhere above, someone dumps garbage out the window. This Mythos event best investigated in an alley or street with the lowest influence. That'll be you, because I have 5.
We're not in an alley or street.
We are not in an alley or street, correct, no fact.
We're in the garden.
We are.
Or greenhouse.
Very true. Back to the investigators.
I will check the question mark.
The question mark. Some of these pots appear to have been hastily pushed aside. You shift around some of the pots and find a useful gardening tool. Gain the shovel, common item. And disregard the search token. Okay, I think this is more obvious as an access point to the house, to be fair.
Question though.
Yes.
If I give you items, does that class you as picking up items?
No, it's a trade.
Yeah,
It's a trade.
So shovel. I've got all these handy. I've got a blunt object. I've got a sharp object. I've got small.
Many weapons.
Yes.
So
and I will check the door.
The door. The door is locked. It would likely catch unwanted attention to try and pick it. Okay, so that doesn't count as an action, but we can't do it that way.
So I will spend 2 movements to continue.
Cool. Right, okay, I suspect this big house here might be the marsh one, like with the conservatory and everything, so it's probably better for me with higher influence attempts to go in there, because I might be able to chat my way in.
Maybe.
So I will go 1, 2, and try the door. A door with an ornate locker is set into the house. I will knock. Ooh. After a long moment, the door swings open to reveal a maid standing in the hall. Disregard the explore token and place the hall end tile. A well-dressed maid blocks your way into the house. Place a person as indicated. There is a door to the right. Place an explore token. Papers are scattered around the desk. Place a search token. Yes, how can I help you? The maid asks. I'm here to see Miss Marsh, or none of your business. Okay, so I don't think a maid would necessarily know her comings and goings. So I'm more likely to do that than just say none of your business.
They don't want to be rude either, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Just being rude or just get you kicked out for being an arse. So I'm here to see Miss Marsh. The maid looks unsure. Influence check. I have 5. On influence. Money talks. 1, 2, 3, and 2 blanks. So
you can re-roll one if you really want to.
I do have a lucky rabbit's foot. I may save that for a mythos, because I think 1, 2, 3 should get me in. I will let Miss Marsh know of your arrival. She disappears into the door on your right, and you hear the sound of low voices. The maid shuffles back into the hall. Miss Marsh will now see you. She gestures into the hall. You may move on space into the explored area. I shall.
And punch the maid.
Okay, so we've not seen what's in there, but we know Miss Marsh is in here somewhere. But yeah, so the maid has allowed me to entree. Actually, interestingly, that lantern is still there. I think that door may still be locked.
Yeah, probably locked. It's just...
Yeah. Okay. Is that you done as well?
Yep.
Yep, so mythos. The silence is suddenly broken. This mythos event affects the investigator in an outdoor space with the lowest willpower. You're outside.
Yep.
But you have decent willpower regardless. A strange and worrisome sound trills from nearby. Law check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're fine. If you pass, you recognise the call of the whippoorwill. So,
I
there you
get
go,
a
folks.
check.
You notice the peoples of Innsmouth are watching you with wild suspicion and thinly veiled hostility. Okay, yes, the time's running short. It's starting to get dark. Investigate phase. Okay,
I'm going to get that way if possible, but it's going to take me a whole turn basically just to get down there.
I'll tell you what I'll do first is I'll get the thing beside me, that question mark, and then I'll go and see Miss Marsh, because that may expand into here.
Yeah. Like all I'm going to do is step, and then...
Just leave it for now, because if you see what if I discover something, that may change where you want to go. It looks like someone tore a journal apart and left pages behind. You try to surreptitiously gather the papers while the maid dusts the table. Agility, I have 4. Hide the evidence. 1, 2, 3, yes. You successfully collect the papers without drawing the maid's attention. Gain the old journal unique item, then discard the search token. The investigator holding the old journal can read it by interacting with it in the app. Thank you. Okay, so there's probably some evidence in here that I need to read about. And then I'll go into this door here. A solid wooden door leads from the hall into Mrs. Marsh's office. The door leads to an office full of odd statues and paintings. Discard this explore and place the study tile. Where's Miss Marsh?
She's blue.
Yep. Miss Marsh stands at her desk, taking notes out of a large tome. One of the paintings is a portrait of a much younger Sylvia Marsh. You may move one space into the explored area. Oh, also I'll get rid of my horror because I've got the old journal. And I will move a space in. Okay, so we know these don't connect now, so it might be worth going after that.
I was going to the burning of ash.
Burning stuff. Yeah. So do you want to move?
Yep.
1, 2. And that's both of us done for this turn.
Yes.
Mythos phase. The ground suddenly gives way, revealing a vast and cavernous emptiness. This mythos event affects the investigator in an outdoor space with the lowest law.
That's fine.
Sorry,
I've got 5 law.
You fall and fall for what feels like an eternity before slamming hard onto the bottom of a pitch black pit. Suffer 2 damage, but strength negates.
Oh, great. My weakest point.
Come on, old Granny. Oh, she tanks it. Granny's been having her roids. Then the hole simply vanishes and you find yourself back on solid ground once more.
I get another token for a horror check.
Indeed you do. God, we've got more clues than we know what to do with. Okay.
Well, I guess the ending's going to be something big, like, you know, one of the bad guys, the multiple bad guys you've got over here.
Okay. Oh, also that question mark as well. Yeah. Right. Do you want to do your stuff
check
first?
the burning bin.
Something has recently been burnt in this pit. You study the ashes and find strangely marked rocks amongst the debris. Law check.
It's bad.
Nothing. Oh, rerolls. No, you've got converts, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I might. Yeah.
Well, I can always check again if need be.
Yeah. You're unable to make sense of the markings.
I will try again.
I'd try again. That was just mega unlucky. Trying again with second action.
Is it still law?
Still law.
Yep. 2
and a partial.
Spend 1.
Make it 3. You recognise these symbols from occult books. They are commonly used in rituals that protect the home and the hearth. Gain a clue and discard the search token. Okay.
So, spend a clue, get it.
So, somebody is trying to protect this house. Which isn't Miss Marsh's house. Someone else's. Okay, so that's both of yours. I will step up and speak to Miss Marsh. Sylvia Marsh sets down her pen, her lips pursing. Yes? Asks Miss Marsh about herself, or have you noticing anything strange lately? I think get to the point, because I'm kind of...
well, she doesn't seem to like to talk about herself anymore.
Yeah, have you noticed anything strange lately? Maybe you like to gossip. Strange? Perhaps. But visitors always believe Innsmouth to be strange. Have you tried talking to Gilman? She deals with you people all the time. She might understand your meaning better. Gain a clue.
Oh yeah, if I recall, Gilman next door to
That's what I'm
Marsh.
going to actually go to. Yeah. Okay. Is that us done?
Yeah.
Mythos. The light dies slowly. Place darkness in each space in street corner 1. This Mythos event each investigator in street corner 1, which I believe is this one. So, darkness. The darkness tiles mean that you can't use the clues to convert partials to actual successes whilst you're in it.
Unless you've got a torch or something.
Unless you have a light source, yeah. But there's no effect because nobody's there. Okay, investigators.
Do I go to detective, question mark, or door?
I tried the door. We've spoken to the detective a lot and I think we've got a good
Yeah, I'll go to the door.
read of his character. Let's see what's in.
Come on, Gilly. Let me in, Gil.
Oi, Gills! A neat stone walk leads up to a well-kept house. Knock or sneak into the house.
Question is she in the house? She's most likely
Okay, right. We know there's a protective ward that's gone off outside the house. I think trying to sneak in might damage you because of that. The house is protected.
Oh, it was a ward that went off.
Yes.
I'll knock.
Yeah, because I think being polite would be...
I thought she was going with evidence.
Yeah, there we go. Just a moment. Gilman's voice is clearly cheerful, even when muffled by the brick of the house. When the door opens, a flick of surprise flashes over Gilman's face, before being replaced by her usual inner smile. Goes to the interior hall tile, which is this one. And Gilman is there. Well, this is a lovely surprise. Usually my guests get enough of me at the hotel. Come in, come in. You must tell me about what you think of Innsmouth.
I will come in and tell her about this.
An open door reveals a small bedroom dominated by a large armoire plus a search token. I assume that means wardrobe.
Yeah.
A closed door leads off to the hall. Place an explore token as indicated.
I shall enter and talk about Innsmouth.
7 of the shelves could be used to barricade the door should the need arise. Place a barricade.
Locking her in.
You may move one space in. Doot. and I believe that's you done because you had to move there to reopen it first. Yep. Okay. I mean, I'm here. I might as well see if she has anything else to say, Miss Marsh. Sylvia Marsh sets down a pen, her lips pursing. Yes. I'll ask her about herself. Well, I am a Marsh, and that commands a lot of respect. My family is the reason this town stays afloat. We built the town's refinery, you see, where most of Innsmouth's income is made. Many believe we control the wealth and the health of Innsmouth. This is mostly true. That was more about the Marsh family than yourself? Or do you really think the Marsh family are good for Innsmouth? I think that was more about the Marsh family than you. My dear, there is nothing more important than being a Marsh in Innsmouth. Okay, I think she is quite happy with where she is in her life. I don't think there's anything suspicious going on with this one.
Just the fact she's reading an old tome.
Yeah, but she owns the place. Like, she's not particularly dealing with anyone. I know they're arguing about something, but they're neighbours. You could be arguing about anything as neighbours.
They're rolling on it.
Nah, I'm not suspicious of her. I think so far it's just the writer that's really getting me hackles up. Oh, obviously we've got another area to explore, so we shall see then. And then for my second action, I don't. What's this thing back here?
It's a picture.
One of the paintings on the walls. Okay, we didn't examine the portrait in the hotel, did we?
No.
So, as I'm much younger, I will go there. So for next turn, I want to see if she's related to anybody that we may know or suspect. Both done?
Yep.
Mythos fails. The cobblestones underfoot are rounded and uneven from time's passage, or perhaps malicious assemblage. This mythos event best investigated in an alley or street. No, we're all indoors. Investigate phase.
I will talk to Guillermo.
Talk to Gilly. So, what are you finding most interesting about Innsmouth? The downtown, or here, the residential area? Presumably if you pick one, you'll elaborate more on the area.
I'll say here. Because the pond sounds suspicious.
Here, the residential area. Well, I would not live here if I didn't like it. I'm glad you enjoyed looking around. The architecture here is very classic. That's all she has to say.
Was that an action?
Yes, it was.
I will go to the question mark, the bookshelf. Is that the same room, actually?
This is not the same room. There is a dividing line.
Okay, I'll go there. Yeah, I'll go there now.
Okie dokie. I shall see what the question mark next to me is. The family portrait. One of the paintings on the wall is a portrait of a much younger Sylvia Marsh. Miss Marsh notices the object of your study. A relative painted that for me long ago. She had real talent once. Every Marsh is distinguished, but no one can paint like her. I hear she gave up painting when she ran off to marry outside of Innsmouth. She taught me something invaluable, really. Never squander your talents. Gave a clue, and then just got a search token. Okay, so a relative painted that for her, and we know that Gilman is a good painter. And not been doing it recently.
Maybe
people have been looking for her to find a suitor, but if she's found one out of town, then she wouldn't have one in town for them to gossip about.
Well, that means she could be related.
Yes, so I would suggest that these two are related. Okay. Yeah, and I moved there to. No, I didn't move there.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. So I shall go 1, 2, and I'll try and go over there at some point. Okay. Is that both done?
Yep.
Cool. Mythos. You're suddenly aware of the awful and unstoppable passage of time, obsessively dwelling on your ultimate mortal fate. Each investigator suffers 2 face-down horror, but willpower negates. What was the score? 1.
No, I can't do anything about blanks.
Grab yourself a face-down horror.
Horror?
My willpower is 3. And I will spend 1 to ignore the additional horror by converting that to a success. Okay. And you resolve the horror checks again.
Oh, yeah.
Night is coming. You will not be able to conduct your investigation in the dark. It might be wise to review any evidence you've gathered during the day. No immediate effect. Okay, should we examine the ritual components in the old journal? Oh, the journal! Yeah, I'll look into the journal for an action. The pages appear to be ripped from the journal. You can attempt to put the pages back together using books as an action, a law check. And 3. Oh, I have 3, and it is a sliding puzzle. Okay, so, well, obviously that image matches the image of the old journal itself, so I've got something to go off of. So that's correct there. That needs to go up 1, so I'll swap that. This one is the middle, but this one is the bottom. So, and I can spend a boatload of clues to actually solve this. Ooh, is that bookmark at the bottom? Yes,
No, that's the middle.
Okay, so I'm thinking if I go that way for 2, sorry. That way for 3. Spend a clue for 4. And this top one needs to go up there.
Yeah, that middle top needs to go down.
Spend that for 5. And this whole thing needs to come across. So 6, 7, spending 2. Okay. Well, at least all the millions of clues were useful.
Until the big thing at the end comes and we die.
Reading over the pages, you think you can tell where one ends and the next begins. You look over the first few entries and find out that the writer appears to be a fellow visitor to Innsmouth, Bobby.
Probably.
The journal spends some time dealing with the first impressions of the architecture and the people of the town. A few pages in, you find what appears to be research notes. They detail the Marsh family tree. There's a long section break after the Marsh family tree. When the writing resumes, it is much messier, as if written in a fit of great emotion. It's another action to read, so I think I'll do that now. Following the Marsh family tree, the entry relate facts of the life of one Margaret Marsh, M.M., who disappeared from local knowledge some years ago. Letters transcribed into the journal imply she left Rockham to marry a man named Alan Foster. The marriage took place against the wishes of her family, causing a rift between Margaret and the rest of the Marsh family. The journal writer ends his entries thusly. Finally, I found evidence that my dear mother is descended from the Marsh family. That means I, myself, am connected to Innsmouth in a most intimate way. I am pleased to have my suspicions confirmed after tracking down much of my mother's previous relations and possessions. I will pass these findings on to the Marsh family so that they might
Bobby
know...
is related to Marsh.
Yes, so that they might know the final fate of a once-loved cousin. My mother, Margaret Marsh, passed 6 months ago, survived by her husband, Alan Foster, and her son, myself, Bobby Foster. I am the descendant of her line and look forward to getting to know my new relatives and taking advantage of our position in Innsmouth. Oh, yeah, okay.
He just wants to get in the family.
He does just want to get in the family. Does that mean he's a cultist? Or not?
I don't know, just not enough stuff to say yet.
Because he got a cult symbol and he really, really wanted it bad, but it could just be because he wants to go in for the family money.
Yeah, but the cult sigil is for Marsh. So the Marshes are the cult.
Were part of it, yes. So actually then, that would make Sylvia and Bobby the most heightened suspects.
Possibly.
Because I certainly don't think it's the detective. Definitely not her. The drunk we don't know enough about, but he was rummaging around something. He could just be being an idiot.
Could be trying to do something for the cult.
Potentially. Who are we missing?
You've got drunk, librarian.
Oh, the librarian, yeah. I really want to know what she ordered in. Like, out of those 3, the librarian could have knowledge to rituals and stuff because of her research. But we'll see.
Got my stuff. I will attempt to do the question mark, the cupboard to Narnia.
Your interest in the armoire has not gone unnoticed. Gilman is watching you closely. Oh, right, okay, so that doesn't cost you an action, but it won't let you go in.
Ah. So that was better.
You might want to see what's in
Yeah,
that
I'm going
room.
to leave the room.
1, 2, and open. Gilman coughs politely. That'd be my bedroom. You do know I close doors for a reason, right? I admire your sense of curiosity, but there are limits, not an action.
So basically I've done 2 moves of doing nothing.
Maybe if you distract her, or...
That's what I was thinking, but to distract her, I don't know what to do. Lock her in the house?
Well, yeah, maybe if you interact with her next turn.
Yeah, I'll go.
She's still got moves.
I'll go to her again.
Yeah, okay.
Just stay with her and carry on talking.
Okay. That sounds done. Next. Mythos. Oh, you return to the Gilman house with the horrible certainty that you've learned all you could, cleared the board. Tonight you hardly sleep, tormented by all you've learned in the misty town of Innsmouth. Each investigator suffers 3 face-down horror. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
You are unable to shake the conviction that something terrible is coming. There is little time left to stop it. Where will you continue the investigation? Go to the docks.
6.
Oh boy.
I need 3 more before I go crazy.
Yeah, we need to clear you of that.